What's up, YouTube? It's your friendly neighborhood gamer, your host, Coach Key, and welcome to Legends and Dice Cafe, where we learn about tabletop RPGs from old school to modern, and do lots and lots of solo gameplay. Back with my weekly video like I do every Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, unless I'm having a few technical difficulties. But you can definitely expect the video every week, and 9.9 times out of 10 on Fridays. And today's video is courtesy of our Patreon supporters voting on this week's video. So today we're going to do a quick review on 4 Against Darkness, a super cool solo game. I thought it would be super cool if we not only did a quick review, but we did a little bit of gameplay today, so I can show you how easy it is for you to build your characters and get started on a really cool adventure. And don't forget, if you're digging the content, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. It makes YouTube think that I'm pretty freaking cool, okay? And make sure you follow us on Facebook, Legends and Dice Cafe. If you would like to further support the channel, come on down and subscribe to Patreon. It is free to join. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this review, into some gameplay with 4 Against Darkness. Let's get it. So let's get it. 4 Against Darkness. I printed out some of the tables and a quick reference sheet, and I'll show you guys in a quick sec. I've got my characters because you're going to create 4 characters to send on a journey. 4 Against Darkness is a solitaire dungeon delving game that may also be played cooperatively. No miniatures are needed. All you need is this book, a pencil or an erasable pen, 2 dice, and grid paper. Not only am I enjoying it, it has so many expansions and supplements, different adventures, more monsters, more classes, skills, and so on. I think it's so cool. And the artwork in here, I think, is also really cool. It's such a super easy rule system that you can pick up, get your character going, and it won't take you very long to get started on your adventure. It does have your introduction. This is an old school dungeon bashing game that can be played with minimum space and equipment. Why for? And it lets you know that using 4 different players, it helped to balance the adventure out, and they're not too difficult to control. And then of course you get characters with a variety of different abilities. So monsters roll no dice, so the danger level of the monster is indicated by the number, and the number is their level. So if it's a level 3, then that's the number that you're going to have to roll to beat in order to kill that monster. And then when it's the monster's turn, instead of doing an attack roll, you're going to do a defensive roll. And it has dice codes, so it kind of lets you know, because it's going to call for different things inside of the book. It's a good reference tool. So for instance, D66, my first time seeing that. So D66, you roll 2 different colors, and one is the tens and the second one is the units, and that's how you're going to create that number, which is pretty cool. It's got explosive 6 rule. Once you roll a 6, you immediately get to roll another D6 and add the result to the total as well, which is pretty cool. And this will of course help you kill multiple minions. And you do use a few other dice in 4 Against Darkness. So you're also going to use a D8, a D10, D12, and the infamous D20 that I am oh so familiar with. So you don't have races, you just have classes, and you get to pick either a warrior, a cleric, a rogue, a wizard, a barbarian, a dwarf, a halfling, or an elf. And of course, each class, they all have special abilities, and they also have weaknesses. So say for instance, wizards are weak in combat, but is good at casting spells and solving puzzles. Elves and halflings are more agile than other characters. Warriors and barbarians can, of course, withstand more punishment. And I'm going to show you the character sheet real quick. Hold on. I picked my characters out that I'm going to play. So here's the character sheet that was in the back of the book that I printed out. I initially found this one. I think I like the other one better, so I'm going to transfer this information over there, but I'm going to do that after this video. So I picked a rogue, and my rogue's name is Sundi. I picked a wizard, and their name is Junde. I picked a dwarf named Said, and an elf named Albin. And all, of course, level 1. So, of course, you have your attack roll, and it says describes how powerful you are in combat. And then you have your defense, of course, how protected you are, And then you have your life points or life value. And your life value, of course, is the number of wounds, of hits that you can take before you actually die. And each of your characters, they come with equipment and they come with gold pieces. And I'll show you that in one sec. And of course, your abilities. So for instance, I picked the wizard. Well, the wizard is one of my characters. So for his gold pieces, I would roll 4d6, and then his life points is 2 plus his level. My wizard has 3 life points. And of course, it has your traits, like your abilities. A wizard can add 1 to their attack rolls when attacking with spells, and rolls to solve puzzles and riddles. Gives you a little bit more detail, a little bit more information about your spells and how many spells like you're starting with. You have about 3 slots, and I think you can have 6 spells prepared are allowed in the game. Yep, 6 spells. So you go through and start creating your character, creating your party of 4 adventurers. And then next up, he has your equipment. You can start out by buying your equipment. You automatically get a certain amount of equipment from your class, but then before you start your journey, that money that you rode with, you can actually use to purchase other items, which I like. So again, you can also share money amongst your crew as well. So, and another thing, in the beginning, it does let you know a party must have at least 1 lantern and assign it to a character. That character must use 1 hand to carry the lantern and may not use a bow or shield or a 2-handed weapon. So, and if the lantern drops or if the person carrying it dies, then another one of your characters is going to pick up that lantern. When you pick your when you either purchase your equipment or just go with the equipment that's already given to you from the class that you picked. For your weapons, you have to pick whether they're crushing or slashing, and you can also sell your equipment. And then it goes into the attack, to how monsters attack, but we already kind of went over that. There is a difference between minions and bosses. They are classed as minions or vermin. The only difference is that vermin do not give any XP points when you defeat them. And it lets you know as far as your attack rolls, another thing that you would add is a 2-handed weapon adds +1 and a light weapon subtracts 1. Some weapon has bonuses against specific monsters. This is pretty cool right here. When an attack goes multiple times over the monster's level, the attack delivers more than 1 wound. That means that more than one minion will be killed by the attack. And when a group of minions, when they lose more than half of their initial number, then you make a morale roll. So you roll a d6, and if you roll a 3 or less, the remaining monsters, they flee. If you roll a 4 or better, the monsters continue to fight. And you can perform 1 morale per encounter. Some monsters, they never roll morale, and it'll let you know under their stats. Of course, bosses are harder to kill, higher life points, and it's something similar for the bosses. When the boss loses more than half of their life points, their level drops by 1, and it must make a morale roll. Monsters' reactions. So, in general, your party has the option to act before the monsters. When you encounter monsters, you may attack them right away or let the monsters act first and see what they do. Every monster has a reaction table under its description, and these are a list of different things that are possible or different results that are possible. So it has a few different things, which again is super cool. And then we go into creating the rooms. So we're going to roll on this chart right here. So you roll a 2d6, determine which entrance to your dungeon. You roll a d6 on the rooms, and it'll show you what that actual room looks like. So we're going to roll a d6 on this, and then we're going to roll a d66 on this chart right here to create our dungeon. This section right here are your actual tables, which I have them printed out. You have a quest table. We can roll on the quest chart to see exactly what our quest is, and retracing your steps. For every room or section or quarter that you visit, roll a die. On a 1, your party is attacked by wandering monsters, and there's a chart for them. Wandering monsters always sneak on you, so they attack first, beginning with the characters at the rear of your marching order. Ooh, okay. So here, if you run out of doors to open, then the last room you generate will automatically contain a final boss as well. And it shows you how to level up. Every time the party kills a boss, completes a quest, or survives 10 encounters with minions, not vermin do not give XP, it's part of their annoying nature. A character of your choice may attempt to level up. This is called an experience or XP roll. Roll a die. If the result is higher than the character's current level, the character gains a level. And then you've got spells. I did not pick the spells for my wizard yet, so I'll do that in a few. And so you've got a list of the spells, what they do, and then you have your random table, your random spell table. And then you have your encounters section. It has a cool little area right here for your defense roll modifiers. Like if you have light armor, that's what's going to add a +1 or anything to your defense rolls. So as far as passing your defense roll, if your character rolls higher than the monster's level, or if he rolls a natural unmodified 6, the character takes no damage from the attack. And of course, if you do not, it is a failure. So of course you can withdraw and run away from combat, but of course there is an advantage to the monsters when you flee, and vice versa. When they flee as well, you get an advantage. And looting, when your party defeats all the monsters in a room, make a roll on the treasure table. Some monsters have more treasure than others and have a treasure roll modifier. And then searching a room, if you come upon an empty room, then you can search this table. So all dungeons have secrets. Whenever an empty room is generated, you may decide that is not the case and roll on the table below. I don't have a halfling, but if I did, halflings may use a luck point to reroll. So you get either roll on a wandering monster attack, room is empty, or choose you find a clue, a secret door, or a hidden treasure. Really dope artwork. And then of course your traps and lock doors. So you can either try to bash the door in, but of course that has the ability to create too much noise and or unwanted attention. And then you roll on wandering monsters. You can bash the door down with magic, and you can do lock picking the door. Only a rogue may attempt to lock pick a door. And it does have save rolls. It says in some cases the rules instruct you to save versus a specific attack. And that's pretty much it. You have things to remember, which is a cool section. I'm going to make sure I get this printed out as well. And then you've got RPG Light option, which is interesting. And you've got a section for frequently asked questions. And then you've got shorthand symbols for room content. So you can use these symbols for the content inside of the room. You've got your character sheet right here, and you have a chart for your monsters killed and a guide to the dungeon and building the actual tables and dungeon and room building tables. And you've got your quick reference, and it also has it has all of the tables back here, which is super cool and very convenient. All right, so boom, that's the gist of the game. Super easy, super simple. And like I said, you've got your quick reference sheet. This is what's inside of the back. And let's see, and then here go all of your tables. This is what we're going to start on when we create the room. We're going to roll on the room contents. We've got some cool graph paper, and we're going to first roll to see which one our entrance is going to be. 4. So we got a 4, so we're going to do this one right here. All right, so we got our entrance area right here. Boom. And now we're going to roll on the room. Green is going to be 10s, and then the 4 will be the units. So we got a 21. Let's see. Oh, 21 right here. And you can also shift. You can always rotate the rooms however you see fit. So this looks like the door right here. So we're going to draw the door right here. We'll use the rule where if you roll a 1 or 2, the door is locked before we attempt to pick it, or if it even needs to be picked. So the door is not locked. Fantastic. So we're just going to go ahead and open it up. Hopefully I did that right. All right, so we roll for our entrance. We roll to see what type of room. Then we're going to roll a 2d6 on a room contents table. So we got a 3. So let's see. Treasure protected by a trap. Roll on the trap table and roll on the traps table and on the treasure table. Awesome. So let's see. We're going to roll on the traps table and we get to roll on the treasure table. So we're going to roll a d6 for the traps table. So we got a 4. So cotton picking. It's a bear trap, level 4, hitting a character leading the marching order. So my rogue, of course, was the first one to go into the room. So he would take the damage. So let's see, that's a level 4 trap. So on the traps, the bear trap, the character must roll a d6. So you roll a d6 and you have to beat the level of the trap. So let's see, fingers crossed. What color should we use? I got a bunch of different colors because sometimes you know how it works. I like that orange stuff. Let's pick this one. 6. Woo! Oh yeah. So now let's go ahead and roll on that treasure table. That is super cool. All right. So we're gonna roll a d6 on the treasure table. And we forgot to roll on the quest. We're gonna roll on the quest after we do that, after we roll for our treasure. So then we know, so we have like a reason why we came to the dungeon in the first place. So we're gonna roll a d6. That's awesome for our first time. So we got a 4. We got 1 gem worth 2d6 times 5. 6 times 5, 30 pieces. Not bad. All right. This is pretty cool. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna roll for the next room. Tens, green tens. I say it out loud. Greens, tens, orange units. 53. See, good thing I said it out loud. 53. So here we go right here. Let's go ahead and attach that room and say we come back this way. But before we do that, let's go ahead and roll on our quest so we know what our quest is. Where's our quest table at? Is that the only... Wow, that is the only... Mother Hubbard. That's the only sheet that I did not print. But that's okay, because it's in the back of the book. I thought that was so cool, printing that stuff out. Here we go. So we're going to roll a d6 to see what our quest is going to be. I need a bigger space, so maybe I can work on investing into... So if you guys have any ideas on how I can push the camera up so I can get more of this right here, because the stand that I have, I probably just need a bigger stand. If you have any suggestions, so then I can have more of a space so you guys can see more. Let's see, we're going to do a 3, I want him alive, as 1 above. But the party must subdue the boss, tie him up with a rope, and take him to the creature's room to complete the quest. To subdue a monster, you must either use a sleep spell or fight with -1 on all attack rolls, striking with the flat of the blade, or trying to knock out the boss instead of killing him. Interesting. All right, so that's going to be our first quest. That's going to be our first quest. I'm going to go ahead and highlight it. I'm not exactly sure which one the creature's room would be, but we'll figure that out along the way. So let's build a little bit more of our dungeon that we're delving into. I like this. I like this game. I'm trying to not purchase any more of these books, like the expansions and stuff, until I get through this game. Do a little bit more with this game and level up my characters, so then I have a reason, So all right, so we got 53 last time, so we're going to... All right, so I guess this would be considered a corridor. So I'll roll for the contents as we're exploring or walking through it. And that's the locked door right there, and we're not gonna go that way. We're gonna come this way. We're gonna go, and then we're gonna come around and build another room right there. So we're gonna go ahead and roll for the contents, and now we're gonna roll for the contents of the room. And we got a 4. So I rolled a 4, and a 4 on the room contents is if corridor empty, otherwise roll on the special tables, special events. So it is a corridor, so it is empty, but we can roll on the search table because I'm curious about what it might be, what could possibly be there. Here we go, right here. So it's this section. Do we want to take a chance, guys? Let's see. Why not? So we're going to take a chance. We're going to roll a d6 and see what we get. So we got we got wandering monsters. All right, so we're going to do a fight real quick. Let's go ahead and go into combat. All right, let's see. Then we're going to roll on the wandering monsters So we're going to do marching order first to see. So only, and if you're going in on a corridor, 2 of them can be side by side. It should be big enough for both of them, is what it said. So marching order, if it's a corridor, in a corridor, only characters in places 1 and 2 can fight, while characters places 3 and 4 can only cast spells or attack over the heads of their friends if they have a bow or a sling. All right, so we're gonna roll on the wandering monsters. We're gonna do a d6, of course, and we rolled a 3. So we're gonna roll on the minions table, which is a good thing because we get XP for them. Not only do we get XP for them, but they're also not that difficult to kill. So minions table is a d6 for the minions table. So we got a 6. We're gonna do 2d6 fungi folk, level 3. Treasure is normal. Any character taking damage from the fungi folk must save versus level 3 poison or lose 1 life. But before we start attacking, we're not gonna attack them. We're gonna first see what they're gonna do. So we're gonna roll on the monster reaction table because maybe we won't have to fight them. So we got 9 Mother Hubbard. So we got 9 of them, and I'm pretty sure minions have only 1 life point, but we got to look that up. So that's still pretty easy kill. It is a lot of them. We're gonna use these out of my Marvel box. So we've got 9 of them right here. But first, let's see what they're gonna do. Let's roll. We're gonna roll for all of them when it's minions on the reaction table. All right, and of course under it has the reaction. So you do a d6, a 1 and 2. They ask for a bribe, d6 gold pieces per fungi, or 3 to 6 fight. We don't have a lot of gold pieces amongst ourselves, but let's see what we can do. Let's see now. Yeah, so we're gonna roll a d6 and see what their reaction is. Whew, let's see. Let's go for a bribe. Come on, let's go for a bribe. Ooh. And a bribe it is. First, let's see if we can afford it. So let me get my character sheet together. So we've got 15 gold pieces right there. 15 plus 13. So we got 28 gold pieces, and we've got 9 of them that we need to bribe. So we only need to roll. So we're going to roll, see first if we can afford it. We're going to roll a d6, and yeah, d6 per fungus. 5. Oh my god. Oh my god. I can't even afford. Yeah, so we're going to have to fight them. But before we do that, just in case we want to flee, I'm going to go ahead and roll for the next room. And just in case we want to get out. So let's see. We're going to roll 2d6. Green 10s. Orange units. 42. All right. That's interesting. Let's see. All right. So now there we go. So it looks like another corridor, which is cool because at least we have somewhere to escape if we need to escape. So we're going to actually pause the video there, and then we'll pick it up in session 2, and we'll go ahead and jump into the battle with these fungi folk. Yeah, I like this. I like this a lot. This is super cool, super easy and stuff. So I'm looking forward to playing session 2. So if you get the book and you want somebody to play with, hit me up. Let me know. You can have me on Discord. As always, thank you so much for taking the time to tune in. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you pick up 4 Against Darkness as well. And be sure to make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you comment. And make sure you subscribe. Don't forget to turn on your notifications so you don't miss out on any of the cool content that I post every single week. Thank you guys for taking the time out to support the channel. Watch the videos, like, comment. I appreciate it all. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Friday night and have a super fantastically awesome weekend as well. And I'll see you guys next week, same time, Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.